All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me thank everyone for coming out and being here to celebrate some exciting news for Denver and all of Colorado, right? In this crowd with us today, I want to acknowledge, of course, our governor who's going to address us in just a moment. I want to acknowledge Canadian Consul General Sylvain Fabi is here. Mexican Deputy Consul General Federico Bas is here. And former Ambassador of Ecuador and Brazil, Todd Chapman, is here as well. Would you give them a round of applause? Thank you for joining us. About 2 hours ago, I stepped off a plane from Los Angeles, attending the 9th Summit of the Americas, where we received some very exciting news. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken made the announcement that the Biden-Harris administration has selected Denver to host the inaugural Cities Summit of the Americas. The Cities Summit in Denver will bring domestic and city officials from across the Americas together to discuss the roles cities play in implementing 9th Summit commitments. The Cities Summit will empower elected officials, businesses, and private organizations to collaborate and develop new solutions to the most pressing issues facing communities. And I sat with a roundtable of mayors from Guatemala, from Mexico, from Colombia, you name it, Brazil, Australia. We had some great conversations about sustainable development and climate resilience, democracy, foreign direct investment, women's empowerment, uplifting underserved communities, and public safety. President Biden gets the importance of local communities and cities in affecting positive change and their capacity to positively impact the nexus of foreign and domestic economic policies. Couldn't be more excited and honored that Denver was selected to host the first of these summits. We've got a diverse group of folks here today behind me to show their support. We'll be engaging with them over the coming year to make this summit the best it can be. I've asked my Chief of Staff, Alan Salazar, to take the lead on this effort, and he enthusiastically said he will do it. I think the reason why the State Department decided to focus on cities because the mayors had great conversations. Mayors are able and do move things and get things done for their people. They're also the economic engines. Over 85% of the people live in urban communities. In the United States of America, cities make up 92% of this nation's GDP. We are the cultural centers and educational hubs of our nations. The work we do has the most direct impact of our residents and where innovation has the best opportunity to thrive. Bringing together this diverse and international group of local leaders will foster collaboration like many mayors and city administrators have never before experienced, and will foster an ecosystem of ideas, and I can attest to that in my conversations while in Los Angeles, that will benefit local communities throughout the hemisphere. So I want to send a very special thank you to the Biden-Harris administration for selecting Denver. It was great to hear it come out of their mouths to host the very first ever Cities Summit. And we look forward to welcoming delegates from across the Americas to our great city and metropolitan region in April of 2023 for these critical conversations. With that, it is my pleasure to bring our partner and one of the most phenomenal partners to work with of any mayor, our Governor, Jared Polis.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Hancock. This is exciting news for Denver and, yes, for the whole state of Colorado. We are proud to be hosting in our amazing state the first ever Cities Summit of the Americas right here in Denver next spring. We're, of course, hoping many of the delegates will also get out and explore the rest of our state in the spring, the high country in the mountains, Colorado Springs, and so much that our state has to offer. You know, this choice is a natural one. Of course, I'm a little biased towards Colorado, but I think that we all can see how clear it is that in Colorado, we are really a model for the rest of the country on everything from saving people money to protecting our environment, cutting healthcare costs, driving economic growth, and renewing the spirit of what it means to be a world-class city and a world-class state. You know, during this last legislative session, we passed over 100 ways to save people money here in Colorado and reduce costs. Everybody will be getting at least $500 back, every taxpayer $1,000 per couple later this summer, reducing property taxes, and so much more. Not to mention, Colorado is one of the fastest economic recoveries in the nation. So it's great to be able to bring that story to the global stage with the Cities Summit of the Americas right here in Colorado next year. We also know that our state has a strong spirit of thinking big, of collaboration, whether that's the state working with local leaders like Mayor Hancock, whether it's working with one another from all parts of our state, with other states, with other countries across the world. Colorado really leads the way in that spirit of innovation and collaboration that helps make Colorado special. We all want to learn from one another, and we look forward to learning from people from across the world at the City Summit, sharing what works, changing what doesn't work, to tackle the big issues that we face as a state that other cities and states across the country and across the world also face. I'm proud that Colorado is home of the Biennial of the Americas that I just participated in a few weeks ago, a really important tradition that builds connections within our hemisphere, South America, Central America, Mexico, lessons learned, best practices, building meaningful connections, because we know that Colorado is stronger because of our cultural and economic ties to the rest of the world. I, just a few weeks ago, joined Biennial of the Americas in Mexico City, where we met with community leaders and government leaders, and we talked about how we can grow jobs on both sides of the border, expand cultural ties, social ties. And now with the inaugural Cities Summit of the Americas right here in Colorado, mayors and community leaders and business leaders and others from across the country will have the ability to forge those connections under our warm auspices and welcome right here in Colorado. You know, when we face challenges in Colorado, we come together and we get things done. And fostering that same spirit between local leaders around the country and around the world will pay enormous dividends for all of us, and we couldn't be more thrilled that we'll be able to host them right here in Denver, Colorado. This is an exciting opportunity for the city of Denver, for the state of Colorado, for communities across our state to showcase what it means to be a world-class city and a world-class state on the international scale, and to play our part in taking those collaborations to the next level to improve the quality of life, to save people money, and protect what makes it special to be a Coloradan. Thank you.
I want to acknowledge the presence, and I apologize for not acknowledging early on our city council member, Chris Hines. Thank you for being here. Always here, and we appreciate it. Why don't we go ahead and open it up for any questions you may have, but let me start off by reminding, this is a pretty big deal. We expect 2,500 people to come to Denver during this time, mayors from all over the Western Hemisphere. While I was there and after the announcement, I was probably the only mayor in the room who knew the announcement was coming. Afterwards, many of the mayors that were there with me stepped up, could you make sure I get an invitation? So they always want tickets to the game. But we're very excited to host them. And it was awesome to have great conversation with them. And I know when they get here next spring that they will hit the ground running on some tremendous conversations. Let's answer questions from members of the media. Wow, you guys are great. Yes. Well, you know what? Whenever you put heads in our hotel rooms and you got people walking up and down our downtown area, and hopefully they'll stay longer to enjoy the great amenities that the governor just acknowledged, Colorado Springs, the mountains, and all of our great amenities throughout Colorado. That's economic benefit to us. The State Department is going to be a partner in all of this. And so we're excited that they'll come and join with us in the planning and coordination of all this. But I tell you what, we expect to show them a great time when they come here. And we expect they'll enjoy our restaurants. Los Angeles was buzzing. The restaurants were full. People were excited to be there. And I expect nothing less when they come to Denver. Any others? All right, let's get ready for Summit of the Cities.